Hi guys, it's Patchouli. How's everyone doing? Good, 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 I hope. Today I am reviewing Midnight Oud by Juliette Has a Gun. Patchouli, reviewing an oud fragrance, you say? Yeah, I know, I thought the same. But I've had some Juliette Has a Gun samples for a while. I had tested a few of them out recently and decided on reviewing this one because I like to break my own boundaries, and I always go, I hate oud, I don't like oud. I wish it would go away. And then, as with always, a fragrance comes along and I think, oh, okay, maybe it's okay, you know? I always say that. Just a little tip. If you think you hate a note, never rule out a fragrance that contains it as a main note because you just never know. I've smelled some wonderful ouds and I really like this one, so I wanted to review it. So this came out in 2009. It's an oriental fragrance, and in terms of the composition, on paper, I probably never would have picked it up and sniffed it, but I got a sample set. So I wanted to try them all out at least. So it's very typical, and the note list is extremely confusing. I have seen 3 different note lists, or 3 variations of note lists. So the first one I'm going to give you is the one that's on their actual website, which is, the top notes are rose and birch tar. Interesting, there's a lot of woody notes going on in this one. So birch tar and rose. The heart notes are patchouli, oud, of course, cedarwood. And then the base note are Guaic wood, which is another wood, which is kind of smoky, sometimes caramelly. And then a note called Cetalox, which is a molecule. This brand likes this molecule. They have a fragrance called Not a Perfume, which is just contains Cetalox. I need to smell it. I have it too. However, Fragrantica lists a couple of notes that I really do notice that they don't mention, namely geranium. And then on the little card, Juliette Has a Gun's card, it says oud, saffron, musk, amber and sandalwood. So they don't mention saffron, musk, amber or sandalwood on their actual website, yet on this card they do. So it's all over the place. I can smell things from all 3 descriptions, so I'm just going to give you my take and then that's what we're going to do. Okay. So when I first smelled this, I did think, okay, this is just a typical rose oud combination. It's like cheese and pickle. Rose oud is the go-to combination when you have an oud fragrance. It's usually paired with roses 99% of the time. So I thought, okay, I don't really need to smell that. But when I wore it, something happened and I felt really good about this one. I don't know why. I'm guessing it's synthetic oud in this fragrance, I'm not sure. Most companies use synthetic oud nowadays because it's very inconsistent from tree to tree. So this is definitely oudy at first. The oud in here is friendly. I would call this a really good beginner oud fragrance for people that are just getting into it. You don't get any of the band-aid thing that comes from oud. You get a very nice, crisp, pronounced and it smells syrupy oud at first. It's like a very friendly, crisp oud that is surrounded with something a little bit syrupy and sugary. I'm guessing the rose and geranium. I do smell geranium in here, and what it does is, this rose oud thing is ramped up by geranium. Geranium is essentially rosy in aroma anyway. It's like rose on crack, I say. So I can feel that there's geranium in here or some kind of rose enhancer. That's what I get. I get oud, I get syrup, and I get a very intensely geranium rose type feeling. The thing I like about this is something that I would usually use as a negative. This is why this review is slightly odd. But there is a quality about this perfume that makes it smell, and I hate using this word, perfumey. Perfumey could be anything. I know that doesn't really help anyone in any way, but I describe perfumey as when you kind of walk into an airport and it just smells of perfume everywhere. Perfumey, but not any one thing. And I really like that. It smells like a perfumey, rosy oud that's really wearable, really friendly, and there's something elegant. It feels like, almost like if oud was around in the 90s, if oud perfumes were around in the 90s. It feels like some kind of florals that I've smelled from the 90s that are syrupy and elegant infused into a typical rose oud perfume, if that makes any sense at all. I don't really get anything in the way of birch tar. Birch tar is a very pungent note that smells like bonfire, so it would be kind of cool if that was in there, but I don't get that at all. It's relatively simple, and when it starts to dry, this is where we're going now, we're going into the dry stages here. Once this amber, or maybe not amber, they mention it, they don't mention it, but I can feel it, because what happens is a powderiness starts to envelop the fragrance. The oud is always there, it's always crisp, it's always cutting through everything, but amber as a base note, once it starts to reveal, it does shroud the perfume in something a little bit fluffy and a little bit powdery and a little bit comforting. So it does take the edge off a little bit, but it's really, really nice. I do start to feel something that's a little bit drier in the base as well. Possibly the patchouli, possibly cedarwood, just giving it that little tiny bit of pencil shavinginess that it does to things. Sometimes a lot, but in this it's only a little bit. And it's a nice development. I really like it. There's something je ne sais quoi about this one that's made me want to review it, and you probably just need to try it, I guess. But yeah. It's an elegant perfumey oud, and that's where I'm going to leave it, because I could go on about it for much longer, but I'm going to wear it today. I'm excited. I'll spray it off camera because I always do the face at the end. Anyway, in terms of longevity, it's great. I get a real good longevity out of this, 7, 8, sometimes 9, depending on how much I've sprayed and where and the weather. But it's a really, really nice one, so I recommend you try it. If you want to get this fragrance, head on over to natino.co.uk. I'll post a direct link in the description box. I just looked at my light and almost blinded myself. Oh my gosh. I'm Patchouli Oud. Click my logo down there to subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon for another video. Goodbye!